Okay. How do you feel about what happened to you and your family during World War II?
Well, in my view, it was totally unnecessary, all the expense that the government went to hold us up in concentration camps.
How do you feel about this memorial that we're working on?
Love it.
No, you have to say more than that. You can't just say that, because we won't know what you're referring to.
Well, the incident should be remembered. Not only for me, but for anybody else that might come across that because I had the best time in the world.
What's the importance of building the memorial? Why should it be built?
So that we remember. And a lot of this is, as you can tell from my hemming and hawing, that it's not right there. I have to search for that memory. And having lived it, it shouldn't be that deep.
What would you like to say to the visitors who come to the memorial what do you want to have them get out of their experience going to the memorial?
Should never have happened. I'd love to have been here during the war. And whether it be raising strawberries or any other vegetables in the cause, I'd be glad to have done that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's
great.
very good. Thank you.
Is that good enough, Isa?
Yes, I think so. Do you have any other things you would like to add or talk about?
Oh, we didn't cover Bill much.
Oh.
He is, actually Bill, Nibs and Bill were, because Ebe was in Pullman, and that was the last stable address that any of his brothers ever had. We used that as a rallying point, and everybody out of the service ended up in Pullman one time or another. So being in a college town, Nibs, I think, was the first out of the service. And he had ideas of becoming a vet. And that is an agricultural college, or at least it was at one time. So he was thinking very seriously of trying to become a vet. and he took a few college courses initially, and by the time I ended up there, both he and Bill, having got out of service ahead of me, they were both attending. And I looked into it, and the GI Bill covered the whole gamut from top to bottom. 4 years. In my case, it was 5 years of schooling. And Nibs somehow had a problem with being accepted by the vet school. And I think after taking a few odd courses just to kill time, waiting for its acceptance or not being accepted, he finally gave it up and went back to his automotive endeavors. Now Bill, on the other hand, he was in pre-dent, or thinking pre-dent. Took all the right courses, and after a couple of years, he gave that up. But he came back to it, and it wasn't pre-dent this time, it was bacteriology, microbacteriology. And apparently he loved the subject matter, and more so than dentistry. And he stayed on. He graduated, and he got his master's, and he stuck with it a bit longer and got his doctorate. And applied, after that point in time, he applied to University of, no, it was Michigan State University. And they have a large USDA facility there, and they do some fine research work, and he was accepted to a program in there after he got his doctorate at Wazoo. And he spent his entire career out there. I think some disease in the poultry area is where he nailed something down, and he wrote a paper, and it was published, and he finally got a little bit of reputation, and he went to Japan shortly thereafter, I think, under the auspices of the Japanese government that was interested in some of his work. And In the meantime, there's me. I'm struggling with some college courses, but and I really wasn't prepared for college. In high school, you know, I didn't take the algebras and geometries and trigonometry or anything like that. I was content with Mr. Morley's class in the shop. But Mrs. Biggs, in her wisdom, I guess, somehow rammed some little bit of algebra in there somewhere into my brain. And through all of my college courses, just that one rudiment of algebraic thinking of proportions, chemistry, physics, it was all that same proportion thing that I was able to dig back out of my thick skull and use to solve some of these problems. Satara Biggs, I remember that lady.